Welcome back, everyone. So I've cut off about a ½ inch off of the trailing edge of the wing, just so that it's not so thin, so it doesn't break off. It's pretty thin still, even with that cut off, so it's still pretty good. And then I went through and sanded the entire wing and cut off all the glue that had came out of the joints here. I did use way too much glue, as was pointed out by some of you, but that's okay. So now the next step is I'm going to work on the wing. I'm going to glue in the carbon fiber strips for the spar. So here's the strips that I'll be using. They're just 1mm by 6mm carbon fiber strips. So probably put a couple like that. They're going to go in vertically. So I'll just cut a slot in with the knife, and then I'll put them in vertically, and I'll put a little bit of Gorilla Glue in there first, and I'll angle the wings up again so that the dihedral stays in. And then I'll probably put another one on the bottom of the wing just to give it a little more strength. That's what I've done with the other wings, and it makes them pretty stiff. I will be putting wing braces like the real plane has, but I don't plan on them actually being for support of the wing. I'm going to make the wing strong enough on its own. And then I'll also be cutting out the ailerons and the flaps. So I noticed that the vertical stabilizer didn't look right. I had to cut it a little bit to make it fit right, since there's a little bit of a difference in height between this part of the fuselage and the horizontal stabilizer. And it ended up with this front part of it being too short. So I cut it off. This is the old one. It was a little bit shorter than I wanted it to be. So I cut it off and I cut a new piece of foam, and I'm gluing that on now. Also, I'm 3D printing out the brackets that are going to go in front of on the front of the wing. These are going to be what the rubber bands wrap around so that they don't dent the foam. So I just glued in the carbon fiber rods that the rubber bands will be attached to. I just put some Gorilla Glue on the inside, and then I put a little bit of foam safe super glue on the outside to keep the hopefully keep the Gorilla Glue from oozing out. So I got the ailerons and flaps marked out. I just measured in from the wingtip 1.5 inches, and then this way it's 1.75 inches, and then the aileron just goes all the way to this panel where the wing is glued together here, and then the flaps go the rest of the way in. And then these are the 3D printed plastic pieces that are going to go on the trailing edge, and then one's going to go on the leading edge here. So this is my first idea on how I want to attach the main landing gear to the plane. I'm not sure if this is what I'll end up doing, but this is just like a prototype idea that I was having. I'll bend the landing gear wire so it's like a square up here, and then when it comes out, it'll go this way, and it'll sit in this little groove on this piece of plastic, and then like out here, it'll bend down at an angle, and then it'll stick out where the wheel will be attached. So this will be on the bottom of the fuselage. I'll cut a hole out in here, and then it'll just go right on the bottom of the fuselage. But this is my idea. I'm going to think about it a little bit, and I'll see if I can make it work. Alright, so this is probably the worst part of making these planes, is making these landing gear wires and bending them up. They're a real pain to make. But I finally got it bent up and it's all straight. So basically that's just going to slide into there, and it's a really tight fit, which is good, so it'll keep it from moving around. And then I'll shoot some Gorilla Glue in there, and then when I put it in, it'll just glue it all in, and it'll be a really solid fit. These parts, they fit nicely into this groove here. And then I got the wheels here. I have 2 wheels, one on each side, obviously. So that's how that's going to go. Before I glue the wire in, I'm going to glue this bracket into the plane. Alright, so the main landing gear bracket's glued in now. I sanded it down a little bit, the glue around it. I put another piece of 1/2-inch foam in here inside the fuselage so that the bracket goes through a full inch of foam, just to give it more support. It still sticks out there a little bit, but it's okay. So I think it's time to start painting now. I'm just using this regular Rust-Oleum gloss latex paint. So I painted some of the plane with 1 coat of paint. When I'm finished, I'll have 3 coats of white paint before I start painting the other colors on. But that's all for today's video, so thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this, please check out the other videos in this build series, and please subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed, and have a great day.